Okay. So when it comes to the French power division, right? So out of the 6 countries, technically there are 6 countries including Sri Lanka. Out of the 6 countries, France is the easiest for a very specific reason, that powers are not divided in France. That's the whole point. So we've been studying that some countries have been using federal format. You have Switzerland, which is like a confederate level, so much power divided. Then you have USA, which is also reasonably uh, uh, power divided to regional levels. Then you have India, which falls within the territory of federalism, but not that much of powers. Then you have the British system, inside the unitary system, that the powers have been divided without compromising the unitary nature. And then you have Sri Lanka, that there's also some reasonable power devolution mechanism, but practicality suggests that the power devolution is not the best, but somewhat power devolution is there. Then you have France, where you have no power devolution. Okay, you have no power devolution because France follows a centralized unitary system. Centralized unitary system. This is what you need to know about France. You know the basic stuff, that the French constitution was created by a person called Charles de Gaulle, who was the army commander during the Second World War, and he was very popular. And he created an executive format, the hybrid semi-presidential executive format, and those are the important things. Then, in terms of administration and local government and power devolution, power division, they what they follow is an extremely centralized system. So there's no devolution of powers. Now you saw that in Sri Lanka and Great Britain, there's some sort of a difference in diversity. Now we had a diversity and a plural society in Sri Lanka. We have Sinhala, Tamil, Muslims, especially Sinhala and Tamils, that we have big differences between uh, the southern areas of the country and the northern province. That's why people suggest that we need devolution and to divide power. Even in England, Wales, Scotland, Northern Ireland, although like all of them are like white people, they speak different languages: Scottish, Welsh, English, and Irish. They speak different languages. Um, they have different accents. Uh, then they have different cultures, different historical developments. Because of these things, that in Britain also, in UK also, they have gone for like proper power devolution. But when you take France, they don't have that much of a diversity. The French culture is pretty much the same. French language is pretty much the same everywhere in the country. So they don't have that much of a problem, and they don't have that much of a necessity to go for devolution of powers. Um, that's the first thing you need to know. Therefore, they use a very centralized system. Now, we learned about 3 mechanisms to divide power within a unitary system without compromising unitary nature, right? Ketu, if you remember me telling you these 3 mechanisms that you can divide power in a unitary format, can you tell me the 3?
So it's uh, the concentration, decentralization, and devolution.
Correct. So we saw that in Britain and Sri Lanka, we have used the third one, the ideal one, the best one, right? But in France, they haven't used devolution of powers. Instead, they have used deconcentration and decentralization. Deconcentration means basically relocating your staff, the central government staff. Decentralization means giving powers to the local government authorities like the municipal council and stuff to handle the activities. Then the devolution is establishing regional small governments with a small executive, legislature, and judiciary, um, which is what followed in Sri Lanka and Great Britain. But France have stuck to the first two, deconcentration and decentralization, and they are like, we are okay, we don't need devolution. So, and then there's like a lot of details specific details about how the administration works. No need to worry. And yes, Melinda, you don't need to memorize all these things. Just having the basic idea is enough. And what you need to know is that the central government structure, just memorize that. Okay, just memorize that central government, because they have a prime minister and a cabinet, which is a hybrid executive. And that's where Sri Lanka also learned it from. And their parliament is also bicameral. The lower house is the National Assembly, upper house is the Senate. And together they call it the parliament. And in their system, president is the most powerful entity. President is the main role. Now, kind of like Sri Lanka. That's why I said like Sri Lanka learned the 17th constitution from France, but not powerful as the Sri Lankan president, but reasonably powerful. So president handles everything, and the administration and everything is based on deconcentration and decentralization, not devolution. Therefore, it's very centralized. Everything is controlled by the central government. And of course, in the latter part, we can see that it has been criticized. In the recent times, it has been criticized, and France is, at the moment, they are considering applying devolution of powers, still in the discussion stage. Okay, right. So this is how the reading should go. Ketu, you should start with where it says unitary and centralized model France, and read up to main features of the Gaullist system in France. Actually, it should be de Gaullist. There has to be a DE in front. De Gaullist system. So Kezia, you need to read main features of the de Gaullist system in France. Until then you have a separate lesson called decentralization of administrative powers in France, where Ketu should take it back. Yeah. Then the latter part, last part, criticisms of decentralization in the French centralized state should be read by Kezia. Okay, go ahead.
Unitary and centralized model, France. There is a special reason for us in Sri Lanka to learn about the French constitutional model. The Fifth Republican Constitution of France, adopted in 1958, has provided a model for Sri Lanka's executive presidential system under the 1978 Constitution. France was also the first democratic republic in the modern world. After the fall of monarchy in 1789, it became a democratic republic with liberty, equality, and fraternity as its motto. Republic is a form of government based on the principles of human freedom, and it is also a government in which the head of state is direct. Sorry about that. For a limited period in office. The French Constitution and the system of government also enabled us to understand the nature of unitary and centralized system of constitutional government. France is a highly centralized and unitary state. The main feature of a unitary state is that the country is governed by a single central authority. But France has also a unique feature. It has an extensive system of local government and administrative decentralization. However, there are agencies of the central government to implement its decisions. It is usually accepted that the unitary constitutions work better in societies with ethnic and cultural homogeneity. It also requires a strong feeling of patriotism shared by all citizens. There is also a popular belief that unitary systems are better suited for small nation states. France is an example where a big state has also successfully adopted a unitary and highly centralized system. Before we examine specific features of the French constitution and government, let us understand its historical evolution. France before the contemporary unitary and centralized state. France became a republic after the collapse of the monarchical form of state with revolution of 1789. The republic is a democratic form of state with an elected president as the head of state. The head of state in a republic can be elected directly by the people or their representatives. The latter is called electoral college. After the revolution of 1789, there have been 5 constitutions in France. These
Now, I hope all three of you all are aware of the fact that in the US, the president is not directly appointed. President is elected through an electoral college, right? It's not necessary, but I think you guys know that he's elected through an electoral college. People don't get to directly appoint the president, right? People appoint the electoral college members. Electoral college appoints the president. That's the system. Now, sometimes they might give an MCQ saying that currently the French president is elected through an electoral college. That statement is incorrect, right? Because in France, the president is elected directly, like in Sri Lanka. However, in the beginning of the French constitution, this constitution, the president was elected through an electoral college, similar to France, similar to USA. Okay, so French people initially chose their president through an electoral college, like in the US. Then they decided this is pointless. They shifted to appointing the person directly, like in Sri Lanka. Okay, so French system, president was initially chosen from an electoral college. I think in 1961 they amended the constitution and got rid of the electoral college, and now president is chosen directly by people's vote. Okay, right, Ketu, continue.
After the revolution of 1789, there have been 5 constitutional systems in France. These constitutional changes have also been violent transitions of power. Each constitutional system in France is called a republic. First republic, second republic, and so forth. The First Republic was established in 1792, 4 years after the French Revolution that marked the fall of King Louis XVI. It ended in 1804 when Napoleon Bonaparte became the Emperor of France. After 1804, there were several temporary monarchical regimes with the decline of Napoleon's power. The year 1848 marked the final end of the phase of the First Republic. The Second Republic came into being in 1848. Louis Napoleon was elected its president. However, in 1852, Louis Napoleon declared himself the Emperor of the Second French Empire. That marked the end of the Second French Republic. The Second French Empire of Louis Napoleon III collapsed in 1870 when France was defeated by Prussia in its disastrous war of expansion. The Third Republic was established in 1870 and lasted till 1940. The Third Republic also failed to introduce any degree of political stability to France. During the 10 period between 1929 and 1938, there were 10 different governments in France, with no political continuity and stability. The Third Republic collapsed in 1940 when the Nazi Germany invaded France in 1940. France's Fourth Republic was formed in 1946 at the end of World War II. There were no political stability in France under the Fourth Republic either. The period of World War II also saw a worldwide movement towards decolonization. In that context, the French overseas empire also collapsed. The ensuing political confusion and uncertainty in France weakened the Fourth Republic. During the Fourth Republic, the French economy recovered with post-war reconstruction boom. However, the independent anti-colonial struggles in the colonies, particularly in Indochina and Africa, created political crises in the domestic politics of France. Algeria's War of Independence further intensified the French political crisis and the instability of the Fourth Republic. This provided the background for the Fifth French Republic of 1958. It came forward as a solution to the crisis-ridden France under the Fourth Republic. Amidst the crisis, the legislature was dissolved in France. The constitution of the Fourth Republic was no longer relevant or effective. General Charles de Gaulle came forward as the savior of France and proposed the constitution of the Fifth Republic in 1958. The new constitution was passed on 28 September 1958 and the first republic was declared on the 4th of October 1958. The Fifth Republic created a strong presidency with sharing of governmental power between Parliament and the President. General de Gaulle, the founder of the Fifth Republic, believed that France needed a strong and centralized state under the strong presidency. The constitution of the Fifth Republic reflected this personal belief of de Gaulle, who became the first president of the Fifth Republic under the new constitution. The following background factors influenced this centralized constitutional system. The economic, intellectual, and cultural dominions exercised by Paris, France's capital city. Paris was also the center of France's political life. Centralization was felt needed to ensure the security of France as state amidst hostile foreign powers and internal enemies. Thus, the Fifth Republican Constitution made France into an indivisible, centralized, and unitary state.
Main features of the de Gaulle system in France. President. The Fifth Republican Constitution is also known as de Gaulle system. It is thus known because it was created by and for General Charles de Gaulle. It created a complete presidential system of government, replacing the parliamentary system existed earlier. It sought to rectify the weaknesses of the Third and Fourth Republics. Political instability, weak executive, and the loose organization of political parties were their main weaknesses. A president with executive powers was viewed as necessary to be the symbol of unity and political stability of the republic. The all-powerful president was the main creation of the new constitution. It in fact replaced the parliamentary system with a sitting presidential system. Initially, it was proposed to elect the president by an electoral college in order to avoid the instability that can be created by a system of direct election. However, at the referendum of 1962, it was decided to elect the president directly by the entire nation. Thus, the French president is elected on the basis of a two-stage voting system. If no candidate gets a majority over 50% of votes at the first election, a second election is held within 2 weeks. The candidates at the second election are those two candidates who have applied the highest number of votes at the first election. President is elected for a term of 5 years. Powers granted to the president under the Constitution of the Fifth Republic reflect the centralizing tendency of the French system. Among those presidential powers are traditional powers entitled to the president as the head of the state, new powers granted to the president. President is to function as the symbol of national unity. He is also supposed to stand above internal political divisions of the country and party politics. The role of President de Gaulle during the Algerian crisis and President Giscard, I don't know, some name, during the economic and financial crisis of 1976 are examples. President is also above Parliament. He heads the executive, which is more powerful than the Parliament. Prime Minister and ministers are appointed by the President. However, ministers cannot be members of the Parliament at the same time. If a member of Parliament is appointed to the Cabinet, he or she should resign from the Parliament. Thus, there is separation of powers between the executive and the legislature. Emergency powers. President has the powers to declare a state of emergency when there is a threat to the republic, national independence, territorial integrity, or the fulfillment of international obligation under a treaty or the institutions of public authority are under threat. President can declare a state of emergency. Prime Minister and the Cabinet. The French Prime Minister and the Cabinet are relatively independent of legislature, which has two houses, National Assembly and the Senate. President appoints the Prime Minister. President also appoints ministers on the recommendation of the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister by tradition is a member of the National Assembly, but it is not a strict constitutional requirement. President can appoint even a non-member of the Parliament as the Prime Minister. Once appointed by the President, Prime Minister does not have to get a vote of confidence passed at the legislature. Nor can the legislature remove a Prime Minister or a minister by a parliamentary vote of no confidence. Ministers are no members of the legislature either. If a member is appointed to the cabinet by the President, he or she has to resign from the relevant assembly. Parliament. The French Parliament has two houses, National Assembly and the Senate. The National Assembly has 577 members and the Senate has 32 members. The French Parliament is not as strong legislatures in other countries. President has the right to dissolve Parliament in situation of crisis. Judiciary and the President. According to the Article 64 of the Constitution, President is the guarantor of the independence of the French judiciary.
Turn shift.
Yes, sir. I was trying to on my mic. Decentralization of administrative power in France. France does not have devolution of political power. It has an extensive system of decentralization of administrative power. Devolution involves decentralization of legislative, executive, and judicial power to elect political units in the periphery, which recalled provincial or state governments. So, is it which are called?
Which?
Under decentralization of administrative power in France, devolution involves decentralization of the legislative, executive, and judicial power to elect political units in the periphery, which are called, or is it which we call?
Which are called, yes. Which are called?
Which are called provincial or state governments. The French Constitution does not recognize such system. In that sense, the French political system is unitary. Decentralization involves only administrative powers of the government. It is a system identified with the unitary constitutions. In order for the central government to carry out its administration efficiently, it creates administrative structures and units in the periphery. France has a system of political centralization and administrative decentralization. President is the institution around which the political power is centralized. Structures of the administrative decentralization. France has a strongly centralized government structure. It has 3 tiers of subnational government. They are regions, similar to provinces, departments, small local units with regions, communes, local community units. France has 22 regions and 96 departments. They are divided into 320 subunits, which are called arrondissements, and 3,530 cantons. There are 36,383 communes in France. In the above tiers, there are 4 institutions that make the decisions at the local level. Thus, the local decision making is done by a combination of people's representatives, state bureaucracy, and local civil society. They are elected representative bodies, elected representatives to the council, prefects, that is executive officer, officers of central government, trade unions, and pressure groups. Elected representative bodies. All regions, departments, and communes have elected representative bodies to make decisions. They are deliberative agencies of the local government. In regions, there are regional councils and social and economic committees which are elected. Departments have departmental councils, communes have municipal councils. Members of regional councils are elected. Prefect is the non-elected executive officer of a region. Regional council has 3 groups of representatives. They are members of the 2 houses of national legislature elected from the region, representatives of department councils, and representatives of commune councils. The main task of the regional council is preparing and approving the budget. The task of economic and social committee is advisory. It has representations from trade unions and interest groups. Departments have their own department councils which have elected members. The head of the executive of each department is prefect. Departments function as agencies of the central government. Their subjects of responsibility include roads, schools, welfare, and service delivery. Commune members are elected. Municipalities function within the communes. The word commune is used in France to refer to all municipalities, irrespective of their size. There are about 37,000 communes in France. The main function of the commune is to carry out responsibilities by the central government. This includes the provision of services as well as charging fees for such services. Prefect. Prefect is the representatives of the central government in regions, departments, and communes. He also coordinates the functions of the central government at the local level. There are different grades of prefect authorities such as regional prefect, department prefect, and sub-prefect.
Criticisms of decentralization in the French centralized state. The French system of decentralization is carried out within a centralized system. Therefore, it has been subjected to criticism as well. Some of the main criticisms are addressing local needs requires authorization of the central government. Decentralization regulations are complex, leading to escalation of administrative costs and delays. This system is insensitive to local needs. It is not responsive to local initiatives made to resolve local problems. It is not a democratic system. It is a highly bureaucratic system. Because of these criticisms, the unitary and centralized state in France has been subjected to new reforms. We need to be aware of them too. Yeah. Suggested teaching and learning activities.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it, sir.
So you can see that the French system is highly centralized. They don't have devolution of powers. What do they apply, Kezia, instead of devolution?
They use those other 2 methods, deconcentration and decentralization.
Yeah, mainly decentralization.
Decentralization, yeah.
The farthest they have gone. The farthest we have gone, Sri Lanka and Great Britain, we have gone up to devolution, where the French people have stopped at decentralization. Decentralization is the biggest thing that they have applied in terms of power division. Other than that, they are a very centralized state. So you can see the criticisms are there. The systems have become quite, what do you call that, inefficient. The bureaucracy is so much that because people in the decentralization, these places are like appointed people. You know, you remember how there was a monopoly of the public servants in Sri Lanka under the Salisbury times. So it is like that because the people who are in charge of dividing power are bureaucratic people, people who are in the public sector. So the French branches of government in France in the regional levels are bureaucratic officers, not democratic officers. Now in Sri Lanka, provincial councils are consisted of people we appoint there from elections. Now in France, these people are bureaucrats, the public servants. So it's not a democratic system. They have turned very bureaucratic. And just remember the names that they use. The prefects are there. They also have cantons, but the idea of a canton is different from Switzerland here. And they have communes and prefects. Prefect is an executive officer, and there are elected representative bodies and officers of central government, and you have trade unions and pressure groups who are sort of trying to keep things democratic. Right. Any questions? No. Okay. Right. So next time when I'm having an individual classes with you all, I'll.
Sir,
Yes, Ketu.
I have a question.
Right.
Now for America and all, the what is that? The president is elected through an electoral college, no, sir?
Yes.
Then in India and
Okay.
in
Here's the thing.
India,
In India, you don't have an executive president because India follows a cabinet system. The president in India is a nominal head, right? So you don't really count him in the same league as the French president, American president, or the Sri Lankan president because the guy doesn't take part in any executive activities. He's just a nominal executive who's there to, you know, just listen to the prime minister and do whatever he says. So first of all, we don't count him in the same league as other presidents. The guy is a nominal president. Okay. However, you do have a point that the Indian president is also chosen through an electoral college, but that electoral college is consisted of members of the legislature itself. Okay. The difference between the Indian electoral college and the American electoral college is now in America, in USA, what happens is people appoint the electoral college appoints the president. People appoint the electoral college appoints the president. So that means the people don't get to directly appoint the president. That's the only difference. France also, people appointed the electoral college appointed the president. Then French people were like, why do you need this like this? The middle section, just get rid of that. People appoint the president directly. In India, since the president is not a real executive figure, they don't get the people to appoint the person. So in India, what happens is, you know, you have the members of the legislature, no? You have members in the Indian central government legislature, members of the Indian parliament, and there are legislatures in each state. Okay, each legislature has a state, no? Sorry, each state has a legislature, no? The central government has a legislature, and each state has a legislature. So you take all the members of the legislatures in the entire country, central government legislature members and state legislature members, and you make the electoral college out of that. Now imagine in Sri Lanka, we have 225 people who are members of the central government legislature, parliament. And in provincial councils also, we have about some 300 odd people, no? I think so, about 400, 200 odd. They are also, get it? Think of an institute where you have all the parliamentary members and provincial council members. It's like that. In India, the central government parliament members and state government legislature members, you put them together and you call it an electoral college, and from their vote, you elect the president, Indian president. Understand? There's no people participation there.
Okay.
Understand?
So their interpretation of electoral college is different.
Yes,
No?
the same concept, but this Indian electoral college is not elected by people. That's the difference.
Okay, sir.
So,
Yeah.
so basically, you just get all the legislative members from the country, central government legislative members and the state legislature members. I think altogether they have about 2,000 not people when you take all the legislature members from throughout India. From their vote, you choose the president. In USA, different. In USA, the electoral college has 538 people. They are chosen by the public. Now you have the presidential election in upcoming November. No? That means they will choose the members to the electoral college. In December, the electoral college people have their vote to choose the president. Understand? The stream is
Right, sir.
okay. Right. Anything else? Milind, you are okay? Kezia, do you have any questions? Yeah, Mili. What's up? You mean yes in the sense you are okay, you don't have questions. Right, cool. Okay, so I shall revise this with each of you all when I'm having the last class with you all. I'm supposed to have one class, and if they postpone A levels by any chance, we will be able to have one more. Right? Okay, so go through the lesson and ask me if you have any questions. Huh? Right.